under the high noon.
Vasalut, we've made it. We are halfway through the week. Boy, that's a little bit off, isn't it? Let's fix that a little bit. There we go. Professional outfit I got running here. Welcome, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Halfway through it. So glad you all could join me today. Had a great initial inaugural episode of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes last night. Got a lot of great feedback. A lot of you guys really seem to have enjoyed it. So I am so happy. Got some cool artwork from Nate that I'm going to be working on and probably working into future productions. Got to show them to Netter. And yes, thank you, Tim. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but I saw that you had sent me a photograph of the outside of the Sherlock Holmes Museum from back in 2009. I had used the interiors of that museum as the backdrop for the stream yesterday, and we were talking about that. So let's welcome everyone who's here, starting with Big Al of Big Al Presents, who says, WTF, where's the fudge? Is Netter hiding the sweets again? Happy Wednesday. Liquid Lunchers, have a great show, Troy. Yeah, Netter does tend to hide the sweets, but I think it's well past any reason for it, because I've found I can't eat sweets the way I used to. They turn my stomach. Went for a long period of time not eating sweets, and now sweets are just too sweet for me. Don't know what it is. There are some other foods I wish I could do that with, but you know how it goes. And speaking of Netter, the love of my life, jumping into the chat to say, like, share, subscribe, become a member, leave a comment, gift a membership. Yes, do those things. That would be wonderful. Mark Melnikoff says, Mech Paw! Battle alert! Raise shields, charge disruptors, load photon torpedoes, and bring the cloaking device online. And like, share, subscribe, and become a member. Yes, that's how you do battle like a Klingon. Do all the clicky things. Netter points out my current membership drive. For as little as $2 a month, you can become a member and support what I do here and make it possible for me to continue doing what I'm doing into the new year. And, of course, there are other perks as well, including I have an upcoming members-only stream where I'm going to talk about and give tips and insights for those that want to do their own YouTubing, streaming, and so forth. Things that I've learned that I wish I'd known. VIP members will get one-on-one coaching at their discretion on their schedule. Every Monday night is Members Night at the Movies, where you get a private screening of a film of your choice. The members choose via poll what movie they would like to see, and that's what we watch, whether I like it or not. And I tend to end up liking it, but I sometimes go in dubious, like, really? We're going to be watching this? But it always works out pretty good when you guys choose. So yeah, membership, I'd like to think, has its privileges. I like to think the most important reason, though, is to support this channel. If you are so inclined and so able to. Gifted memberships absolutely would help me reach my goal of 100 members by the end of the year, and 2,000 subscribers. 2,000 subscribers cost nothing. All you got to do is share out these streams and specifically tell people, hey, check this out and subscribe to this guy. That costs nothing to do. Hail all, smash the like button and enjoy the show. Yes, I do hope you all enjoy the show. Thank you so much, Jonathan Conroy. Let's see. No shit, Sherlock. I enjoyed it. Yes, there you go. Fair enough. And yes, Curtis Selby, the tired midnight blogger himself, says, lunchtime. Yes, it is. Yes, indeed it is. A drive-by like and a share. Hail midday mixologist. Well, hail to you as well. Joe's Atmosphere. Great channel. Make sure you check him out. He covers a lot of the sports ball, which isn't my area, but he's also Mr. Pop Culture in many other areas. He and I have chewed a lot of the same ground growing up, it seems. And Geek Flag with Nate knows, just talking about you. Maybe your ears were itching a bit. He says, like, share, subscribe, comment, and become a member. And if you're going to give a super chat of $5 or more, why not gift a membership instead and make our family grow? That's brilliant thinking, my friend. I super appreciate you for that. Also appreciate the artwork that you sent me and the little Liquid Lunch promo raw material that I'll be using going forward. Thank you very much. That was some really good stuff you did. I might actually even be hitting you up for some specific stuff if you can manage it. Let's see. You are such a child. I love it. He said member. Exactly right. Yes, and if there is a blue wrench in the chat, if you could do me a favor, go to Tim Hayes' channel, grab a link to his most recent video and drop it in the chat. He very kindly gave me a shout out during his most recent video where he's doing an unboxing of the Cantina, the Hasbro Cantina backdrop playset, and he was talking up the channel. I just feel like we really should encourage him by getting as many eyes on that video as possible. But while that's happening, let me go ahead and get to WTF, guys. I got two articles here that kind of just scrambled my noodle when I saw them today, and anything else I was thinking of talking about today just kind of went out of my head. So let me share the entire screen without sound. Share. Bring this up. Isn't she pretty? Yeah, she's blonde. I gotta type. My brother had a type too. My brother, all of his life, had a crush on Miss Piggy. Seriously, he was autistic, but what can you say about that? Yes, Miss Piggy, voiced by the incomparable Frank Oz. Anyone else who comes after him is an imitator and not worthy of the mantle. But there is Disney for you. But that's not what I'm getting at specifically. Let's get into this article. Jennifer Lawrence and Emma Stone creating feminist icon Miss Piggy movie about cancel culture. Now, if that doesn't cause you to go WTF, I don't know what would. I'll tell you. It looks like Miss Piggy is about to join the ranks of Hollywood's reimagined icons. The upcoming Miss Piggy movie, produced by Jennifer Lawrence and Emma Stone for Disney, isn't a comeback for the Muppets. It's full-blown feminist satire inspired by cancel culture. Yes, really. During a recent interview, Lawrence revealed that the film's concept was born during lockdown conversations about cancel culture. The idea, wouldn't it be so funny if Miss Piggy got canceled? That tongue-in-cheek premise has now turned into an actual Disney production. First off, let me just say thank you so much, Big Al of Big Al Presents. This is the video by Tim Hayes. Please, just go ahead and right-click on that, open it up in another browser, and then later on you can get to it, watch it, hit that thumbs up, share it out with all of your friends on the social type medias. And this is another good one for you to check out from 2 weeks ago. Yeah, he does a whole series of unboxings of the Hasbro figures and of the play sets. But in this one in particular, he specifically is sharing about my channel and about an upcoming video that I've talked about that kind of goes hand in hand with what he's doing. So I would greatly appreciate that if you could help me just make that video go viral, you know what I mean? But so anyway, I'm very concerned about this because first off, anything written during lockdown, inspired by lockdown, that immediately dates it. That was a mindset that people were hyper-focused on that made no sense at the time, let alone outside of that ridiculousness. Be that as it may, cancel culture, I'm just going to say this. Gina Carano, Are you going to touch this? Really? I can't even imagine how they do this without pissing off half of their audience. But these people can't learn, apparently. Yes, really. During the recent interview, oh yeah, I just read that. Tongue-in-cheek premise has now turned into an actual Disney production, but of course it did. That's a face that says, hi, I'm pretty. I don't need to have any brains. So instead of a light-hearted Muppet caper or a heartfelt family comedy, the Miss Piggy movie will apparently dive into what happens when Hollywood's most glamorous Muppet gets called out by the internet. Lawrence herself called Piggy a feminist icon, suggesting the project aims to make some kind of modern social statement, because heaven forbid Disney just makes a fun Muppet film. Shall we speculate about what she's going to get canceled for? Is she going to say something inappropriate that, people are going to say, yes, she deserved to be canceled for that? Is she going to say something innocuous that they think is perfectly justifiable that she gets canceled from people that look like me, and then thereby alienate everybody that voted for Trump? There's no good way. The one possibility that I see that I could actually get behind if it was done well. That's a huge if. That if is carrying ridiculous amounts of weight, Atlas levels of weight. And that's if they take into account her whole karate chop thing. Every time she gets mad at someone, she karate chops them. And even back in the 80s, we were like, that's pretty harsh. That's abuse. You'd go to jail for that. So maybe the use of physical violence to solve your problems might get her canceled. I think that would be great. It would also be a good way to... they've kind of gotten away from her doing that just by not bringing it up anymore. But I think it would be a nice way to touch on it and give an in-universe reason why she's learning that violence isn't the first answer. But we'll see. My bigger concern, if instead of it being something, social and, something like that, if they try to inject any kind of #MeToo into this, that just takes this into a realm the Muppets should not be getting into. But Lawrence herself called Piggy a feminist icon, suggesting the project aims to make some kind of modern social statement, because heaven forbid Disney just make a fun Muppets film. Miss Piggy is a feminist icon. I am not fully against that idea. I think there is merit to that. But the problem is when you have people like this saying that, it causes people to kind of focus on that and then start picking it apart. Remember, this is their audience, is their, unnaturally colored hair, septum ring pierced lefty loonies, right? And they're going to start picking it apart because that's just what they do. And as soon as you call Miss Piggy a feminist icon, they'll say, yeah, a feminist icon created by Jim Henson, voiced and controlled by Frank Oz. So we're talking about a feminist icon created and literally controlled by white men. That ain't going to go over real well with their audience. Just saying. And that's just going to... Oh, great. And they put her on The View. Great. According to reports, the script is being written by Cole Escola, A biological man who identifies as a non-binary and is best known for the darkly bizarre Broadway play Oh Mary. Escola's sensibilities, paired with Lawrence and Stone's activist reputations, make it clear this won't be your childhood Piggy. Well, put her on The View with the Clucking Hens over there at ABC, and yeah. Expect biting irony, likely some commentary on toxic fame, and plenty of smug winks at social media outrage. Yeah, that whole thing about social media outrage really just fully underscores the contempt that these Hollywood elitists have for everybody that's not them. That's not a good look, Hollywood, just saying. I was just watching before we went live. Film Threat was doing a panel talking about Mel Gibson kind of calling out the problems with Hollywood and why it's dying. He said, and he very rightly said up front, the reasons are many and varied. But he was looking specifically at, and this isn't the first time I've heard this from other people. He said there was a film he was doing that he had to film in Nevada. Not that their tax incentives were that great, but it was significantly cheaper than filming in Los Angeles. And as they were getting close to wrapping it up, they needed to do a pickup shot. And he said, 1 day shoot, I could do that in LA, right? He looked into the price. He said it literally was cheaper. He says, I kid you not. It was literally cheaper to put everyone, all the actors and the crew and the equipment and everything they needed on a plane, fly them to Bulgaria, put them up for as long as we were going to be there, film, and then come back. It was cheaper to do that than a 1 day shoot in Los Angeles. That's how out of touch and insane these Hollywood people are. It's just ridiculous. For decades, Miss Piggy's humor came from her self-absorption and over-the-top diva behavior, a character who was funny because she was flawed. Now Disney seems ready to frame her as a misunderstood feminist hero taking on cancel culture. The irony writes itself. A fictional puppet with a karate chop is now the latest symbol of the endless culture war between empowerment narratives and entitlement fatigue. This is going to go over like a lead balloon, I predict. What used to be innocent fun has turned into another lecture disguised as comedy. Fans aren't asking for political allegories about Miss Piggy. They just want to return to the kind of clever, chaotic humor that made The Muppet Show timeless. Disney's recent creative choices have made one thing clear. The studio is more interested in rebranding old icons than creating new ones. Yeah. They want to destroy the past, like I was saying yesterday. Whether it's a race-flipped reboot, a moral sermon, a fresh take, in quotes, and a family character, or a fresh take on a family character, nostalgia has become a delivery system for ideology at the House of Mouse. Nothing. I got nothing. The Miss Piggy movie couldn't easily follow that path. Instead of reviving the heart and humor that Jim Henson and Frank Oz built, it risks turning it into another cultural commentary lecture from Hollywood elites who think audiences are dying for a message. Miss Piggy once said, "Never eat more than you can lift." Disney might want to heed that advice because this project is already carrying more social baggage than it can handle. See, and what's funny is then you see Ricky Gervais's face in this going, "Told ya!" Yep, pretty much. Until proven otherwise, the Miss Piggy movie looks less like a Muppet revival and more of a self-aware lecture on cancel culture created by two actresses who seem to think the world was waiting for their take on it. This could actually explain why Jennifer Lawrence is recently been walking back her stupid comments of the past. Her whole what was it, first female action hero in history or something like that. All that ridiculousness. So I don't know, guys. I'll come back to your comments right on the other side of the promos. Just got a minute and a half talking about a couple things we got coming up, and then we'll continue this craziness. Be right back.
You're watching Liquid Lunch, streaming every weekday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's sip together.
This week on Saturday Night at the Movies, a traveling bushman who encounters modern civilization and its stranger aspects, including a clumsy scientist and a band of revolutionaries. A brush with modern innovation has hilarious and poignant repercussions in The Gods Must Be Crazy, this Saturday night at 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Netter's Network.
In a world where nearly all the entertainment is remakes, reboots, and rehashes of older properties, maybe it's worth it to get some commentary from people who experienced it all when it was novel and fresh. Catch Boomer and Pacelli on Geeky Geezers every Sunday night at 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
This week, on Last Call Presents The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, a gentleman is baffled when the childish drawings of little dancing men terrify his American wife. Sherlock Holmes soon discovers why. It's the dancing men. This week on Last Call Presents, Tuesday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
We now return to our Liquid Lunch.
Disney needs to sell the Muppets to somebody who actually cares, because they haven't done shit with the IP. Yeah. That's of course a hopeful thing. These cultural vandals would rather sit on properties and let them wither than let them continue to be enjoyed by people. Remember, they actively hate you. They hate all of us. They hate anybody who loved Disney before they bought it. Before, the cultural vandals took over and Iger, came in. Before they bought Star Wars. Before they acquired the Muppets and so forth. They want to ruin these things. And that, I'm telling you, that's why we haven't seen an Alita sequel. They would rather everybody forget about it. That's what they do. If they're not actively corrupting it, they're hiding it away so that people forget about it. That's just what they do. But I do think, and I'm surprised I haven't heard more people talking about this. We've been talking about Disney losing money, Disney losing money, Disney losing money. I'm not the only one talking about this. Valiant Renegade talks about it at every earnings call. Culture Casino talks about it on an almost daily basis. Everybody who talks about movies is talking about how they're losing money all the time. I honestly think that Disney is reaching a tipping point, and specifically, I'm going to cite this sports ball situation with Netflix. Valiant Renegade has a great video up this morning that you can check out about this, and he's just hyper focused on that. He's not saying what I am about this being a major tipping point for Disney, but coming to realize how big Netflix is by comparison to Disney. Disney is the little yip yip dog, and Netflix is like the giant dire wolf. You know, it's almost laughable. I hadn't thought about it that way. And when you think how far Disney has fallen to be able to be described aptly in that way, it's scary. Oh no, Miss Piggy on The View. That was actually some time ago. That wasn't like super recently. But yes, exactly. I'm reminded of the ending of Spaceballs with the Planet of the Apes. Oh shit, there goes the planet. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Let's see here. Thanksgiving is coming. Eat more pork. Actually, it's funny you say that. We'll probably be talking about this more as we get into the holidays. Here in the U.S. and a little bit in Canada as well, because similar food availability. Turkey is usually seen as the traditional Thanksgiving food, but as you get into Christmas, I think different people have different, traditional foods. I think some still go for turkey for Thanksgiving, or for Christmas. But in my family, it was always a ham, because we just had turkey for Thanksgiving, a month ago. Let's do something different. So it was always ham. Which is relatively inexpensive and easy to prepare, and we like it. But being an Italian family, you also have to have a pasta on the side, right? So it was always ravioli. It was always ham and ravioli. It's just Christmas for me. It's just how it is. So Disney is taking the lipstick off the pig. Yeah, pretty much. Or trying to put it on. I don't know. That analogy is there somewhere. Let's see. Ricky Gervais, is he the villain? Well, keep in mind, this is from the previous Muppet movie that he was in. So no, I don't think he's going to be in the upcoming, Miss Piggy film. If they don't make the whole film about how bad Orange Man is, I at least may not totally despise them. It's too late. I already totally despise them. But, and you're working on Saturday. I'm so sorry to hear that. But let us get to our second topic of the day. Now, let me bring this up. All I can say is, she's back. Yep. You may have seen this already, but apparently Brie Larson cast as Rosalina in Super Mario Galaxy movie. Nintendo takes a big risk after the Marvel collapse. Yeah. This... I haven't read the article yet. I think this kind of sums it up. Jonathan Conroy says, "Oh, balls." Yeah, exactly. Here's what I want to say about this. This could surprise us. It is possible. So, like I was talking about Jennifer Lawrence in the previous one, starting to walk back the stupid things she said, trying to rehabilitate people's opinions, showing a tiny amount of humility, for the goofy-ass things she said. Brie Larson has been doing something very similar for significantly longer. First, we haven't seen much of her at all. And that's partly because she's become almost unhireable, right? Which makes this all the more surprising. I bet there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we're not going to get in this article, but I'll bet her contracting rate is probably significantly lower than it was when she was doing Disney films. She has, on at least one occasion that I've seen, been hit with a politically charged question that had nothing to do with what she was promoting, and she shut it down and said, I don't want to talk about that. That's not what I'm here for. She got that message loud and clear. She learned the hard way, and she's stepping away from all that. So maybe she realizes I gotta humble out if I want to continue to work in this industry. And here's always been my, confusion about this ding dong, right? First glance, you know nothing about her. Pretty blonde girl. You guys know I have a type, right? But here's the other thing about Pretty Blonde Girl. Just watched a movie on Monday that she featured prominently in. Didn't even notice it was her. Had no idea that this was Brie Larson until somebody in the chat said something about it. And I'm like, oh, that zombie that got killed was Brie Larson? I had no idea. She starts out as the pretty girl that lives across the hallway. And by morning, she's turned into a zombie and he has to kill her. And I'm like, oh, that's a shame. The pretty blonde girl got killed. Oh, it was Brie Larson. Well, good. And I'm like, I didn't even realize that was Brie Larson. That's how off my radar this girl is, that I don't even recognize her, But anyway. You would think I would have noticed because a prominent scene is her trying to get through a door by putting her foot through it and getting her ankle broken. And they do a close-up on her broken foot. You'd have thought I'd have said, oh, Brie Larson. But no, I didn't. I didn't. Anyway, jokes aside, let's move on to this article. First, I want to say hello to a face I haven't seen here in a minute or two. Pops, from Pops on Pop Culture. Rosalina is a godlike figure, so this tracks. Yeah, well, yeah, there we go. But let's get to it. Nintendo's next big animated adventure, the Super Mario's Galaxy movie, is officially adding controversial Marvel actress Brie Larson as Princess Rosalina, and the internet is already bracing for impact. I love that. That implies to me that the entertainment industry is at least aware of the problem and goes, oh boy, which is giving them more credit than I would have otherwise. The announcement came during a Nintendo Direct where Captain Marvel actress was revealed as the voice of the Galactic Guardian alongside Oppenheimer actor Benny Safdie as Bowser Jr. The film, directed by Chris Meledandri and produced by, you guys know how I am with names, Shigeru Miyamoto, is set to hit theaters in April of 2026. On the surface, a Mario Galaxy film sounds like another home run for the billion-dollar Mario franchise. After all, the 2023 Super Mario Bros. Movie became one of the biggest animated hits of all time, grossing over $1.3 billion worldwide. But not everyone is cheering this latest casting announcement. Brie Larson is a lightning rod in Hollywood, an actress equally known for her talent and her tendency to alienate audiences with political commentary. While her Oscar-winning performance in Room remains respected, her outspoken activism has often made her a divisive figure among fans, particularly after her infamous 2018 statement dismissing critical feedback about 40-year-old white dudes. Her time as Captain Marvel only deepened that divide, though Captain Marvel earned over $1 billion in its sequel. The Marvels bombed with a global gross just over $200 million, the worst in Marvel Cinematic Universe history. Marvel Cinematic Universe history, MCU. Yeah, okay. And we know why that was. We've talked about this. The only reason that her first movie made $1 billion had nothing to do with anyone caring about her, wanting to see her, wanting to support her. Everybody was caught up in the Marvel hype. They were so fired up about Endgame coming, they wanted to make sure they didn't miss nothing. So they watched the lead-in film as they saw it, because she was supposed to be some big deal. Only come to find out, bait and switch, we were going to make her the cornerstone until y'all kind of decided you hated her. Yeah, we're going to back off of that. They took her out of most scenes in Endgame and then downplayed her after that. So there was no reason to go see The Marvels. Anyway, we all know. We all know. Larson's relationship with fans and even the press has been frosty ever since. Interestingly, Larson has shown signs of change. I was talking about this, yeah. In a February 2025 interview with The Telegraph, the actress refused to take the bait when a reporter tried to goad her into calling Marvel fans misogynist. I don't know, she replied bluntly when asked why men were supposedly threatened by her casting. I don't pay attention. We know that's a lie because she used to comment on this kind of stuff all the time, but that is the safe way of just dismissing it, right? I don't pay attention. And she's not confirming the assertion. She's just saying, if that's the case, you said it, I have nothing to say about it. The interviewer then tried to push the issue, suggesting she ignored criticism as a way to cope with supposed misogyny. What I would like you to see is that by continuing this conversation, you are putting me in connection with something that is nothing to do with me, Larson said. Wow. That's pretty straight. Her publicist quickly shut the conversation down, a far cry from the combative Larson who once counted headlines with politically charged remarks. Larson's subdued demeanor could mark a turning point, but Nintendo's partnership with Illumination has thrived precisely because it stayed out of the political fray. The Mario universe appeals to everyone, parents, kids, gamers, and nostalgic fans alike. The fear among some fans is that Larson's presence might invite the very culture war noise the franchise has avoided. Hollywood reporters are notorious for stirring controversy during press tours, and with Larson's history, it's only a matter of time before someone tries to turn a lighthearted animated movie into a social issue. So, there's a couple possibilities here. One is they've made a grievous error. I don't think that's possible because this is not something that you could easily miss, that you could possibly miss. What I think is far more likely is that this was a conscious choice. Two possibilities, one good, one bad. Possibly to want to go down this path and inject messaging and controversy and whatnot. That seems unlikely based on the success they have had, but it is entirely possible given what I've seen of the entertainment industry. The other possibility is they looked at this and they said, how cool would it be if we took Brie Larson, gave her a chance, and she didn't F it up? And it actually turned out to be an opportunity for her to start turning her career around. And we could claim a level of positive responsibility for that. If that's the case, I almost guarantee you there was a conversation that went on behind the scenes that said, if we consider you for this, are you going to blow it up on us like you did with what was it, A Stitch in Time or whatever, and all these other Captain Marvel and all that BS? Because we're going to put a rider in your contract. You pull something like that, you're gone. Like that. Done. And we're going to oversee what you say to the press. If there's something like that in there, this could work out. This could actually be a good thing for both of them. I'm looking for the silver lining here. I don't really believe that's the case, but who knows? Brie Larson can deliver a great performance as Rosalina. No one disputes that. If she keeps politics out of the press cycle and focuses purely on the story, her portrayal could win audiences over. Honestly, I didn't even recognize her in Zombieland before she becomes the zombie. So there is no way in hell I would have even known it was Brie Larson when I saw this movie just by the sound of her voice. I would not know. There is no possible way. If it weren't for an article like this, I wouldn't even know they were considering Brie Larson for this role. So this is probably the best way to reintroduce her, is as a voice actress. You know, you don't see her face that people have come to want to. Just saying. A lot of people. Not me personally, but, you know. Of course, that's what she, did to people in her movie, but whatever. But for a franchise built on joy and simplicity, the last thing Nintendo needs is for its cosmic princess to become a new flashpoint in Hollywood's culture wars. Yeah, that would be bad, and that it has all the potential to do that, but let's hope this is actually a diffusion of that. It could be that as well. The Super Mario Galaxy movie launches April 2026. Fans can only hope the adventure stays in space and out of controversy. We keep talking about how divided we are and how we need to start coming back together, mending fences and all that kind of stuff. Potentially here it is. We do need to put up or shut up, right? Are we just gonna be the hateful people they claim that we are, or have a modicum of Christian grace? I don't know. Too early to tell. I have an even bigger problem with this casting, not because of Brie Larson. Why are they robbing career voice actors out of jobs to put on camera work as voices for animation? Look, this whole thing of having famous people do the voice acting for feature cartoons, we've always had this. It's always been the case. I remember it particularly in the Don Bluth era. I get what you're saying, but the silver lining on this is at least they're using humans and not AI to do the voices. Just saying. It hasn't gotten that bad yet. I'm sorry, Troy. Larson has been walking has been walking anything. I think you meant hasn't been walking anything back. She's just been keeping her big mouth shut. That, in and of itself, is a huge victory for her. Again, man, you gotta have grace. You gotta have grace, right? If there is no path for redemption, then you are what they say that you are. Don't be like that. Afternoon all. Brie is going to have a lot of humility, yes, in order for me to spend my hard-earned money on. We will see in time. Boy, Leia, I'm not even at the point of talking about spending money on this thing, because don't everyone beat up on me at once, but I haven't seen the first movie yet. Yeah, I know, I've heard such great things about it. It's on my list, but I'm not the target audience for it, so I'm not in that big a rush to see it. But yeah, I almost certainly won't be going to the theater to see this, regardless of whether or not Brie Larson was in it. I'm even less likely right now because of her. But we got about a year before it comes out. Let's see what happens with this and how this particular thing develops. Oh, it was Amber Heard. I thought it was Brie Larson. Yeah, they're both kind of icky in my opinion. Okay, that's why the feet didn't stand out to me, I suppose. I'm sure Amber Heard must have pretty normal feet. I don't know. On name and success of the first film, Super Mario 2 will open huge. Yeah, probably true. Probably true. Let's see. Threatened by her casting. Okay. Yeah, see, the talking heads and the lefties like to frame things in very weird ways. Just look at the use of phobe. You know, istophobes, right? All the phobes. Anyone who understands English understands that agoraphobics are afraid of open spaces. They literally have panic attacks if they leave their house, if they leave their small, cloistered areas. They go outside, they have a freak out. That's agoraphobia. Acrophobia, fear of heights. You take me up in an elevator and I look down and I just freak out. That's a phobia. Okay? If you take me past a rainbow parade and there's a bunch of guys in assless chaps slapping each other, I don't freak out and become afraid. I'm disgusted. I roll my eyes. If I had children, I would keep them away from it. But I'm not afraid of them. I'm not afraid of well, okay. They talk about Islamophobia. There are some fears that I have there, rightfully so. We know what certain radical elements are capable of, right? But by and large, that's not a phobia. That's a rational fear, right? I have real concerns about people breaking into my house, or committing crime against me. I don't live in constant thought about it, obsessed with it, but I'm aware of the possibility and I've taken precautions just in case. That's not a phobia. But they overuse phobia so much that it seems to, be their go-to for everything, As I get older, I believe that the best we can do is pursue the good and the beautiful. Yeah, exactly. And try to see it. Try to find it, right? That really is the Christian attitude. That was Christ. He didn't, if Christ behaved the way a lot of us do, there'd be no hope for this world. He would just turn his back on the whole world, right? But he looks at every single person that from his perspective is covered in sin and looks for that little tiny gleam of holiness, right? I mean, that's why the Lord's Prayer says, forgive us as we forgive others. Or no, what is it? Forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Right? How do you forgive people? If you never forgive them, you're basically telling God, don't forgive me because I don't forgive others. Right? Think about it. Person living in a glass house should not be throwing stones. Right? will you identify this bucketful of your brother? What? Oh, it must be a Nintendo reference that I'm not getting. Replace Rousdower with the girl. In fact, replace the whole damn cast with girls. I'm sorry, I don't even know who Rousdower is. I'm lost, guys. You guys are making references I'm completely lost about. Welcome, the Horror King. Good to see you, my friend. I want to get caught up because we need to start winding down. Hi to everyone. Thank you so much. I have a wonderful idea. A wonderful, awful, horrible idea. Yeah. Lame scene from the room. I've never seen The Room, so I don't know anything about it. Oh, hi, Mark. Yeah. It's been raining outside for me for most of the day. Sometimes I like rainy days. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. Spend money on it? Nope. Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent. Oh, that's aged like milk. No, she wasn't in a movie recently. We were talking about Zombieland. He who lives in grass houses should not stow thrones either. Okay. Well, thank you for that, Mark. And with that, we're going to wrap it up. Tomorrow is Thankful Thursday. Start thinking about what you're thankful for, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. And tonight, I got nothing. I'm not even sure I have a D&D game tonight. We'll see. Yeah, maybe go over and say hi to Doomcock over on Pop Culture Breakdown. And, yeah. And that's all I got. So, my friends, I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. You make my middays so much more palatable. Yeah, I really appreciate every single one of you. You guys are the blood that pumps through this channel. And, you know, we don't want to lose that. That would be bad, bad, bad. So you guys take care. And, as always, if you're going to imbibe adult beverages, drink responsibly, but always drink something because you got to stay hydrated. And take care of yourselves. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.
Goodbye. Hope to see you again real soon.
So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun, our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon, chasing that jazz under the high